There are some truly insane deals right now for Surface Duo. Under $700 for a $1,400 device. And I'm going to tell you now why that does not actually indicate doom and gloom for Surface Duo. So obviously when the Surface Duo first was announced and that pricing became public, $1,400 US, a lot of us might have gasped in shock, in dismay, and thought, Snapdragon 855, 6 gigs of RAM, a single 11 megapixel camera. Is this thing worth $1,400? And for the vast majority of people, if you ask me, when it was $1,400, should I buy this thing? I'd say probably not. Like if you're a specific person, maybe it's worth it to you, but $1,400 was a lot to ask for this sort of experimental sort of device. Now, I will caveat it this way. For a lot of people, once you held the thing in your hands and you opened it, a lot of people then thought, okay, yeah, no, I get why it's $1,400. The thing feels absolutely incredible in the hand, and, that does account for something. But anywho, a couple of days ago, I tweeted out this link to buydig.com, Surface Duo for $699. And actually, if you go there and you add it to your cart, you're not just going to get a GSM Surface Duo, so that's T-Mobile and AT&T. You're also going to get a free set of LG Tone wireless earbuds for $699. It's a hell of a deal. Then you start seeing on Twitter a couple of days later this tweet by The Verge, which takes you to this article where they have another deal for a Surface Duo that will run on AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile for $690 with their The Verge Duo promo. This is like half off retail price for Surface Duo. So I think a lot of people immediately start thinking things like, oh God, the Duo's done so poorly that they are now selling the thing for half off. It's September to, middle of May, and the price has gone whoosh, slashed directly in half. And while I don't think for a split second the Surface Duo sold really well, I don't think that this actually spells gloom and doom for the Surface Duo, or what I think we should care more about at this point, the Surface Duo 2 or Surface Zeta, however you want to call this thing. I think, and to illustrate this, I want to point out two things to you. One, these two deals have made a lot of hay on the internet. A lot of people have been talking about this. I've seen tweets from MKBHD and people like him, people with millions and millions of followers. So it got some attention. So people do still, while there's not a lot of talk about Surface Duo, people aren't making videos about it still, unless you happen to be this guy. But people are still aware of it, and there still is some sort of tacit awareness and interest in Surface Duo. So that's good thing number one. It's not as if it was just like Surface Duo. Oh yeah, I remember that. People are still aware of the thing, and people are tweeting like, oh, I might actually buy one now for $699. That might be cool to play with for a little while. So that's good. Good thing number two, I will illustrate to you through this tweet from Max Weinbach. He said he just charged his up and he thought it's really good hardware, but Microsoft didn't really understand the difference between a phone and a Surface while making this device. Okay, let's scroll down here to one Daniel Rubino's response here. Obviously, he is from WindowsCentral.com. When he speaks about things like this, you should listen because he knows what he's talking about, and he knows people who know what they're talking about. So, yeah, let's read what he says here. He said, well, that's true, as Surface Duo's hardware was originally planned to be a pocketable Surface computer running a flavor of Windows. That was canceled, and to save the hardware, they revamped it with Android. Version 2 is going to be more phone-like with modern hardware, so not a Snapdragon 855 or 65, probably going to get a AAA or something like that, and things like NFC, etc. They literally slapped Android on it within a year after many years, multiple years of development behind it being a Windows device. With V2, they can now do the hardware as if it were to be a smartphone. And I've talked about this multiple times in the past, and I'm going to say it again. If you look at Surface Duo, it is painfully obvious this was not looked at as a phone while it was being developed by Microsoft. The camera is a phenomenal example. That's not a camera. That's a webcam, okay? That's what it is. And if you look at it and you look at it in those terms, right? You've got your Duo here. You're going to use it to do a Zoom meeting. Well, guess what? You can either have your Zoom meeting here and a PDF there, put it in book mode and point the camera at yourself and do your meeting, put it in laptop mode and do your meeting, whatever you want to do. It's a webcam, and that's what it's meant for. The fact that we take it and we spin it around and we try and take beautiful pictures of the world, I don't think that Microsoft really thought we would be doing a whole lot of that with this device, because I think that they thought you were going to have a phone too, and then at some point they realized, well, look, whatever they're going to put on at Windows 10X or whatever it was going to be just wasn't going to work. So really late in the game, they said, let's throw Android on it. But I don't think that they fully realized that if it runs Android, people are going to assume it's a phone. And it is a phone at that point. But now they know these things, right? So now they know what the expectation is. So as they're making number 2, they've known since development of 2 pretty much started that it needed to be a phone competitor. So NFC, tap to pay, we're going to get that. We're going to get better cameras, probably multiple cameras, right? Probably more than one crappy webcam that we're going to try and find ways to excuse and to say that it's an okay camera when it's clearly not a very good camera. As I've said before, sufficient for social media and nothing more. You're going to get better hardware. And all the things that people said, my God, how could Microsoft forget these things on Surface Duo? Well, that stuff's probably going to get fixed. Now, as Daniel says here, though, whether the software experience improves is another matter. And strong agree on that one. The software has been troubling and worrisome for me from the beginning, and it continues to be troubling and worrisome for me today. So why drop the price this low if it doesn't mean doom and gloom? Well, what it means is that Surface Duo 2 is coming relatively soon. And they know that when Duo 2, Surface Zeta, when it's announced and we all see it and we see the specs and we see the improvements, no one is going to want to go out and buy this thing again. That's just going to be the end, right? It's going to be in for it. And we all know that happens. Happens to every new phone. You know, when the S21 Ultra is announced, the S20 suddenly is going to get a price cut because why would you buy the old one? And it's going to be even worse for this because I think the gap is going to be gargantuan in terms of on paper appearance. Surface Duo came out in September. It's May. We've only got a few months until fall, until Zeta is likely to be on store shelves. So it's now or never. They need to, if they're going to sell any more of these things, they need to do this kind of thing. They need to cut the price and get some of these things sold. This isn't crazy. This isn't that weird. Keep in mind, they're still launching this device in new markets, which means that they're building out distribution channels in that way. So again, no reason to think that, it's done. They're not going to release a sequel. No, they're doing this because the sequel's coming and the sequel is going to be a lot better than this one. So guys, stay tuned for more Surface Duo coverage just like this as we do get closer and closer to the Surface Duo 2's announcement, and you better believe I will cover the living you-know-what out of that device. Check for the links to these 2 deals in the comments down below. Be sure to buy the right one if you're going to do it. Don't buy one that's not going to work on your network. Pay attention to GSM and all that good stuff. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.